Hello YouTubers, this is my wvga vlogging type test, but there's going to be a bit of a difference with this one. I'm going to play around with the audio. What I found out yesterday through doing various different tests is the lower you have the mic gain, the better the sound is. So what I'm going to do for the first part of this video, I'm going to have the audio level as normal, and then for the next part of the video I'm going to edit the sound to see if I can improve it in any way. Obviously when you get this camera you don't want to have to do that every time that you record with it, but I just thought it'd be interesting to see if I just sort of mucked about with the bass and the treble to see if I could actually improve the sound. So that's going to be one of the things that's going on in this test. Also I want to see what the autofocus is like, to see if it sort of goes crazy, and to see how the camera adjusts to the white balance and the sort of, you know, colouring and all that sort of stuff. It's a sort of test within itself, yes. Right, first up I'd like to say a big huge thanks to all of you for your messages, your comments and your subscriptions. I do really appreciate it. I'm sorry if I haven't answered some of them. I've sort of been going a bit crazy with the editing and the videoing and all that sort of stuff. I had a huge problem rendering 1080p in the last couple of days. I couldn't get the settings right in Sony Vegas, which was a bit of a nightmare, but I have managed to sort it out now, so I do apologise if there are a few comments or messages which I haven't got round to. If you have a question for me that I haven't answered, keep asking and hopefully I will get round to it and sort of try and help you out the best I can. Because I mean, at the end of the day, these sort of videos are for you guys anyway, to help you to make an informed decision about your next purchase. Yes. Okay, I have got more tests to come, but what I've decided to do is slow it down a bit. I have been going manic with the tests. I mean, I think there's like 17 or 18 videos up at the moment, so I'm going to sort of slow it down a bit, just so that I can, you know, reevaluate things, put things up properly and answer questions properly. I sort of felt like I needed to get a huge bulk up to start with, because I wasn't really sure of how long I got the camera for, even though Kodak did say to me that I could have it for as long as I needed it. So I am going to slow things down a little bit. Now what I decided to do is do a battery life test. Oh yes. So I stuck my 8GB card in and I put it on 720p at 30 frames a second and started to record. The battery was fully charged and the memory card was full before the battery ran out, and I managed to get about 2.5 hours on the memory card, which I thought was pretty good. I then stuck another memory card in and I got about another 7 minutes out of the camera before it turned itself off. So you're looking at about nearly 2 hours and 40 minutes worth of recording. It might be more on wvga and it's probably going to be less as far as 1080p is concerned, but I reckon you're looking at between 2 to 2.5 hours worth of recording, depending on what resolution setting you use, which I thought was pretty good, to be honest. The charging time was about 2 hours. That was from a real sort of not working battery to a fully charged battery, which I thought was quite reasonable. Also I found out that if you plug the mains in, it does record, which is really handy for me, because quite a lot of the time I do these sort of videos and by the time I've done about 6 or 8 versions of them, the battery's starting to wane a bit. So having that feature to be able to hook it up to the mains is a real bonus. Oh yes. Now I am aware of the issues that you guys have with this camera as far as the audio is concerned, both underwater and above water. Also with the flashes, I have made Kodak aware of these issues and I have been told that it's been passed to the relevant department. I haven't had a reply yet of whether there's going to be a firmware update, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. I know that the audio is quite a big thing for you guys, and at the moment it's sort of holding a lot of you back, and that's another reason why I'm sort of faffing about with the settings at the moment, to see if I can come up with some form of a temporary fix until a kind of firmware is sorted out. As far as my feelings about this camera is concerned, I'm not too sure about it at the moment. Like you guys, the audio is a little bit of an issue. I think for me personally, I could probably work around it and it wouldn't bother me as much. But I know that if I was standing in a shop and I'd seen the tests that I'd done, I think that it would be a bit of a tough decision between the ZX3 and this one. At the moment, I'm a bit reluctant to say yay or nay as far as the ZX5 is concerned. I do like the ZX5. I do think it is a good camera. I like the quality of it. I like the autofocus on it. I really like they've done as far as the underwater capability is concerned. I do think it is better than the ZX3 as far as the underwater video is concerned. Also, the fact that you've got the autofocus is a lot better. I mean, if you look at that bath test when I'm sort of panning past prime, it is really crisp and clear, and you can see quite a lot of detail. So I can imagine that if you were underwater taking video of fishes or even a shipwreck, then having the autofocus would be a really good thing. But there are some things about this which I would change. For a start, I'd get rid of the share button and I'd change that share button into an autofocus on and off switch, because I think that would be a lot more useful than the share option. Yeah, I don't really want to get into it too much because then I'll start doing my final thoughts and I'm not quite ready for that yet. But I do like it. I think if you're interested in buying it, then I would say either get it and wait for any audio fixes, or wait and see if they bring out a firmware update and then think about getting it. I think if you haven't got a ZX3 and money isn't an issue, I would say think about getting the ZX5, because there are a lot of things on it which I think are better than the ZX3. But again, you know, the audio might sway your decision. So there you go. I'm not gonna commit myself. I know it is a bit cowardly, but I'm not going to commit myself yet until I've done all of the tests, and then I'll say whether I think it is a worthy upgrade to the ZX3, because the ZX3 is a really good camera, and at the moment you get it for a really good price. So it is a bit tricky to sort of, you know, say whether the ZX5 is going to meet up to the ZX3. I think if the ZX5 was cheaper, and I think if they sort out the audio on it, then I think it would be worth considering upgrading. But at the moment it's a tricky question to answer, so I shall leave that for my final thoughts. Yes. Okay, that's enough from me. I've sort of gone on a bit. I do apologise about that. Hope you're enjoying these tests, and like I say, I have got some more tests to come. So there you go. Okie dokie. Have a good day, and I'll do some more later on. Bye bye for now.